Hey, it's Vince Marotta, Dan Bickley, Dan Lemoyne, the clinic director for Revitalize Weight Loss and Wellness. And Dan, I can't believe 8 years you guys are celebrating being in the Valley, helping people, helping a lot of our listeners. It's been almost 7 years since my first experience. The Bickley and Marotta revolution is alive and well. But what's new with Revitalize? What do you have going on?
Man, it's been a wonderful 8 years, and yeah, lots changed, I think, since you guys have enrolled, even in just the last couple of years. But most notably, we got a new app and some technology that we're really excited about. Our members are loving that. Really just layers on a whole nother level of accountability and being able to see all the biometrics and map your health right there in your phone and never actually have to come to the office unless you want to.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
One of the really cool things when Vinny and I open our phone lines during our shows, we invariably get listeners who identify themselves with the amount of pounds they've lost at Revitalize. And I hear you have clients come in and say, you must be paying those guys for that.
I wish we were. That'd be a good tactic. It'd be a good tactic. No, yeah, we make raving fans, as you know. Like we don't joke around with this is a revolution, and there's just tons of Bickley and Marotta listeners, and then family of Bickley and Marotta listeners who have we've knocked out of the park for. Yeah.
Once upon a time on Dan Patrick's radio show, the callers would call in and give their height and weight, and he'd ring a bell. Maybe we should do that now with our Revitalize.
Right.
Let's go. I like it.
Hey, it's Jim in Mesa. I lost 42 pounds with Revitalize. Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
Well, the new one was the story of Edgar, who lost 80 pounds and then showed up for his annual visit with a Revitalize tattoo.
Yeah.
I bet you haven't seen that before.
No, but I was joking with Vince before you came in here that, aside from you, he was the only one to start taking his shirt off when he got on the technology. I'm like, Dan, please keep your clothes on. This isn't one of those type of visits. But yeah, Edgar just drops his unbuttons his shirt, and he's got a big Revitalize tattoo on his shoulder. He's like, man, this changed my life.
Well, I started my journey with you guys back in 2018, and I've been telling people about my success, but I've also been answering a lot of questions from people in that time period about, hey, does it really work? And I'm truthful with everybody. Are you disciplined? Are you willing to follow the program that customized for you? It will work. But in the years since I started, what are some of the things that you hear from potential clients about, maybe I'm sheepish to do this, and how do you combat that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it can feel super scary, especially if you have preconceived notions of how diets should go or what losing weight needs to look like. It's like, am I going to be hungry the whole time? Am I going to have to just not be able to have Taco Tuesdays or have beers with the guys? And even just in the last 24 months, we've made some pretty big changes to the ways that we approach our normal weight loss and metabolic reset program, as well as launching some new programs that really can navigate every budget and every lifestyle. So some things I think early on you guys used to talk about is hey, you don't have to work out. In fact, maybe we would ask you not to work out. We've adjusted our philosophy on that. If you love working out, great, we'll navigate around that. You have wine night or, Taco Tuesdays or, love having some beers on the weekend. We've got a program to navigate around that so you can still lose weight, but in a balanced way.
Yeah. Everybody who is on a weight loss journey, they all want the same thing. They all want rapid results. And like I always say, and like you say, the more important thing is sustainability. Yeah. Getting sustainable results, because a lot of the quick fixes, a lot of the semaglutides, you get a very rough reacclimation to normal life when you come off that stuff, and there is none of that with Revitalize. Talk about the sustainability and how key it is to your approach.
Yeah, I mean, I think the sad thing is that I think most of us have been led to believe that it's either fast results or sustainability, and those things are mutually exclusive. And we've proven out that doesn't have to be that way. We can get significant results right away and equip you metabolically and with the tools to keep that weight off for the long haul. And we have a lot of folks who are either on these GLP-1 medications like semaglutide, or they're coming off and saying hey, I realize this is a tool, not the full solution. I need to get the nutrition and lifestyle stuff in place. Frankly, our program's not for everyone. I think of that Nike ad where it's winning isn't for everyone. It's if you're the type of person who likes to follow a simple plan, if you want to be healthy, both internally and externally, then we're for you. But if you're hey, I just want to continue to keep drinking and eating like an a-hole and inject myself and hopefully I'll lose weight, we're not your choice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was one of those people that tried to lose weight on my own before I sat down with you guys and joined forces with you guys. And I know there's a lot of people that are, and those are the people that I speak to on the air a lot. What do you say to people who have gone down that road without any coaching, without any plan, and they're so discouraged about weight loss in general. How would you attract them to Revitalize?
Yeah, I mean, we see this a lot where it's like, hey, I've historically been able to take weight off on my own in my 20s or in my early 30s. And then, as we all know, like we get into our late 30s and our 40s and beyond, it just becomes harder. It's like I got to work out twice the amount just to maintain, or I've got to cut even more calories. And what we found is that our technology and then having some expert staff in your corner can really go a long way. And we think about, the athletes that we talk about all the time. It's like they know the value of good coaching and having a proven playbook. And that's really what we're offering, is a customized program for you to navigate your lifestyle, navigate all the stuff that gets in the way metabolically because of divorce and illness, stress, menopause, all that stuff.
Sports fans don't have the most healthiest of habits. You know what football is? I've long called it the grilling and swilling season.
Yeah.
Let's talk about internal wellness, because I think this is really, really underrated. If people could see their level of internal wellness the way they see pounds on the outside, I think people would have a lot more clarity about the importance of attaining internal wellness. And that's what you're going to get with Revitalize automatically. If you follow the program, you're going to come out on the other end not only thin and have the weight loss that you want, but you are going to benefit for decades because of your internal wellness.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, we want the weight loss to be the result of that internal wellness. And we, with the technology we have available and with our new app, you get to see that every day. What is your metabolic age relative to your actual, what are your hydration levels and your visceral fat around your organ? And so we want to make sure that all those numbers are in line. And we trust that the pounds you're seeing on the scale are going to follow suit. Whereas I feel like a lot of other programs, you may lose weight, but what's happening internally is actually detrimental. And so that's why you yo-yo. Or with these medications, the research is pretty clear that your metabolism will slow down. You're losing a lot of muscle mass. There are people who are losing tons of weight, but they're getting fundamentally fatter. Their body fat percentage is going up because they're losing so much muscle. And so, again, that's not to disparage people from taking those medications, but they have to be part of a broader overhaul, in my opinion.
A couple of things that Revitalize does that nobody else does, and we talk about this a lot, is the tracking of the metabolic efficiency and how it's improving during the course, but also the guaranteeing of results. Explain that.
Yeah, people are like, okay, so tell me about that. Like, how do you actually guarantee results? And we've done this, over 11,000 times. People to help them lose weight and keep it off. And we're really confident in our technology's ability and our staff's ability to customize a plan that's going to work for you. And we work really hard on the back end to coach you to make sure you're seeing consistent results. And so, we typically see about 10% or more of body weight loss in the first 6 weeks of the program.
Yeah, and sports fans, they know better than anybody. They're conditioned to know how important really good coaching is. Sometimes it's the difference between a good team and a bad team. And your staff of coaches, they strike that perfect balance between being positive and being optimistic and holding you accountable and getting you to the finish line. Yeah. Talk about the coaching component at Revitalize.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Like, it really is a difference maker for a lot of folks who, like, they know that they can lose weight the first couple weeks and then they plateau. And so, like, how we are coaching people constantly on, like, how to get through those plateaus, but also on, like, there's just a lot out there that there's a lot of pitfalls. There's a lot of ways to get stuck, or you think you're eating healthy, but actually that's not great for your makeup or your body, or this product looks like it's branded healthy, but it's actually not. It's got a ton of hidden sugar. And so every day we're getting texts and emails and calls being like, hey, is this product okay? And I think just knowing you've got somebody in your corner, like one of our clinic managers loves to say, like, you should never have to do anything alone. And, for most of our members, they love that. We do have some programs for folks who are like, hey, just give me the playbook and I will follow it. I can keep myself accountable. There are those freaks out there who can do that. And we have some programs that are built like, hey, we'll give you everything you need. And if you don't want the coaching, great. Here's a package to make sure that you've got your custom program and you can keep yourself accountable.
One of the things that I hear when people ask me questions about my experience with Revitalize is, it's usually the last question too. Well, how much does it cost?
Yeah.
And I explain to them it's an investment in your future health. And you mentioned earlier your willingness and flexibility to work with any budget. Tell us more about that for people that might be the speed bump for them.
Totally. Well, I mean, my first question back is like, how much is it costing you to not take care of this? Like, you could spend the next 10 years trying to figure this out on your own, and all the ups and downs, and buying $100 supplements here and there that you see on Facebook, or we could figure this out right now. But that said, we know that everybody's got different budgets and different lifestyles, and so we have programs and offerings that really started as low as a couple $100 to say, if you're just saying like, I just like to know what foods are optimal for me, great, we can do that bioscan. We can kind of sit down and walk you through what might be optimal for you, and then if we want to build from there into a coaching program or include other elements of our technology and things like that, we can build up from there.
One of the really cool things to me in terms of the side benefits of Revitalize is because this is a journey of empowerment, and when you get to the finish line and you achieve your weight loss and or wellness goals, you come out thinner, but you also come out stronger between the years because you've accomplished something and you've proven something to yourself, and it can be very empowering. Do you find that with a lot of your clients?
Yeah, I mean, what we've found is that at the center of a customized whole food nutrition plan and coaching and targeted supplements is empowerment, both metabolically and then between the ears, for sustainable results. Like, that is our goal, is to equip and empower our members. And frankly, we joke, like, we're trying to work ourselves out of a job. Like, every other program that I've seen, for the most part, is predicated on your failure and you having to come back for the magic pills or having to come back for the magic shots or the prepackaged foods. Our goal is to get you to a place where your body's burning the food that you eat, and you can step on the scale after Sunday game day and you're like, wow, I didn't gain as much as I used to, or I didn't gain anything. And if you did, you know exactly what to do to bring it back down yourself.
Exactly.
You mentioned the development of the app that's coming out soon, the Smart Scale app, but I mean, Revitalize is in a lot of ways a technology company. Tell us more specifically about the technology you use to identify all these things.
Yeah, so we really have two kind of pieces of technology that we build your program around. One is the bioscan technology, and we have some options if you are not here locally where we can do a personalized intake, but that really removes some of the guesswork as to what is optimal for your body. And that's just our starting point. It doesn't give us everything, and that's really where the coaches and their expertise come in to make adjustments to how, when, and what you're eating. Many folks love that. They knowing that, like, hey, this is my bespoke plan. I'm not getting a generic food list and eating the same amounts and the same things as everybody else. It also shows us where maybe some of the biomarkers that are out of range affecting the metabolism, where just diet alone isn't going to work, and then we put together a supplement protocol around that's built for you. Those are typically included in our program, so it's not like you're purchasing those. And then the other technology is our Smart Scale. So historically, we've had you come into our office to stand on this device. We've been working with them to get an at-home version of that you have, and every morning you stand on that, all of your biometrics go right into your app, and we can see that, you can see that, and we can chart the benchmark, measure, and track your internal improvement, like Dan was mentioning, over time.
All right, let's talk about semaglutides really quick, because the gravitational pull of the magic bullet, the quick fix, this is going to take care of all my problems, it can be very, very compelling for a lot of people. Dr. Noel Abood, I'll never forget, he told me that taking semaglutides is like putting diesel fuel in your automobile. You don't know what the long-term effects are going to be on the engine of that automobile. Let's get to the truth of the dangers of them, and why, for a lot of people, the smart play is to go the organic, holistic way.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a use case for them for certain individuals. I think the majority of people who are taking them for a quick 20-pound weight loss, that's not what they're meant for. You're playing with your body's biochemistry, and what we're seeing is that we can get the same results or better in a shorter amount of time eating real foods, no calorie restrictions. And so we don't know what all the long-term side effects are. I think I mentioned earlier that one of the most alarming things for me is that seeing the amount of muscle wasting that people are having, where it's like that you're shooting yourself in the foot metabolically, by just losing muscle mass. And as we age, you're at a higher risk of falls and things like that. And then a lot of the folks who are coming to see us have tried these medications, whether they're buying it online and self-administering or getting from a med spa or getting it through their doctor, and they're like, my stomach is wrecked or my system is just completely shut down. I have a woman that I was just talking to in the office. She's come in, she's getting way slower loss than what we typically would see, and she's like, because for a year and a half I was just taking way more than I was supposed to, and I've just jacked up my system. And so we're working with her and diving into the details, and we're going to get her where she needs to go, but she knows she's got this uphill battle that she's got to climb out of.
One of my favorite parts of my experience when I first did the program in 2018 was you step on the scale every day and you see the number go down. And I went low tech. I tracked it on a whiteboard for 40 days. But that is one of the things that really kept me going if I was having difficulty or just having a lack of motivation. What are some of the things that you hear from clients when they're done, when they accomplish their goals, outside of that, obviously, about the things that they really loved about the Revitalize program?
Yeah. First, let me ask you, are you the one of the guys at like the D-backs game with like the headphones and like charting the stats on like in the little book?
Dan, I do that at home. I don't even do it.
Go to a game with them, I see.
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of folks love, kind of that empowerment comment that Dan made is just that they're enjoying food again and really realizing that, like, okay, there is a place for all the things that I love, but I have this renewed love for eating whole foods and how I feel. And yeah, it's really fun. I think psychologically there is something about being like, I'm putting in this hard work and I'm seeing results that keeps you going when you're in the more structured parts of our program. But then beyond, we're really trying to help you identify what are your trigger foods. You've learned what foods are best for weight loss. What are your trigger foods that cause inflammation, that cause weight gain? And that typically is really like kind of the light bulb moment for most of our members where they're like, great, like I know exactly how to navigate holidays and enjoy myself. I know what I can do to get back on track. And then there's like the non-scale victories of like just the simple stuff, like being able to tie my shoes without running out of breath, or fitting into clothes I haven't in years, picking up my granddaughter, getting up and down off the floor, like just having energy for life. Those are what we call non-scale victories. And frankly, those are the qualitative things that we ask all of our members that, like, even during the program, like, if you're hungry, if your energy's dipping, that's not normal. You need to reach out to us so we can modify your program, because we feel like you should be able to lose weight in a healthy way that actually feels good.
Yeah, I got to tell you, putting on a pair of pants that you haven't worn in a couple of years and they fit again, that's a pretty great feeling.
Yeah. All right. My last question: when you take a look at your methodology, so many people are so confused. They have no idea how to lose weight. There's so much misinformation. Some people think, well, if I just starve and don't eat, that's got to help me lose weight, right? No, that shuts down your metabolism. So now you're working against yourself. You talk about foods that are loaded with bad sugars that you don't even know are in this thing. Your biometric technology famously takes the guesswork out of weight loss. For people who don't know what that technology provides your staff and your coaches and your certified nutritionists, what kind of leg up does it give Revitalize clients?
I think it's a heck of a leg up. I mean, I think when you've got a customized starting point, not only do we have a little bit better idea of knowing what foods you should be focusing on versus others, and like I mentioned, people who flourish in our program are the ones who are like, just tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. Like, give me the playbook. And then there's also the buy-in. When I know that something's bespoke and customized to me, like, I'm just going to follow it more. But we feel like it's a big deal. Like, I mean, we wrote a book called Fear No Food. We give you all the secrets there, but it's a generic list of food in there. And I connect with readers who have lost weight. It's not as much as folks who have gone through the program and had their roadmap. So
there you go.
Well, I know for years, people have listened to our show, listened to our experiences. They thank me. I'm sure they thank Bick as well. But the thanks goes to you guys for what you've been able to do. I mean, you've changed our lives. You've changed the lives of so many of our listeners. So, Dan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks for having me, guys.